These are what people will go through, and at the end of the day they start questioning themselves, although a lot of people are actually not comfortable with this particular action that this white woman actually took. But a lot of people were like, okay, this thing she did is actually the best, can you please keep sending more information out there? Anyways, I have a full video for you guys to watch, and I would say what I want to say in the at the end of this particular video, right? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. But as you're watching, I want you to just drop me your honest truth. Do you think that this thing that this lady actually did is the best thing, or you think that it is not the best thing? For those of you that will not have a clue of it, so let me just say what happened a bit so that you understand. So this woman literally took her phone to call over, I think they said over 100 churches or more churches, I don't know. But she just took her time to call churches to see the particular church that will literally help her. I have to go into research to bring the full video of all the calls she made and how a lot of them actually responded, and the churches that actually responded as well. So that's a lot of people were like, okay, this thing she did is actually not making sense. Some people were like, it is good, because at the end of the day these pastors do not literally got our back. But I just want you guys to watch and let me know what you think, and that is why I'm bringing this, and this is just for educational purpose, right? So let's dive into this video, guys. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches you're going to be seeing in our today's episode. Let's get right into this.
I don't really have any resources to do that right now. The account where I have to give to community members.
No, we don't help with formula at all. Have you talked to anybody like at CCC?
Yeah, I've been calling everywhere all day.
Oh, okay. We are a small church, and as a result, we have limited funds, and so we tend to help those that are part of the church or come to the church. We're going to be there.
Because there's people that are right around you, local.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay? Bye. We really don't have an estimated time just because we do receive a lot of requests here. Each applicant is different. It could take a couple of days. It could take a couple of weeks. We really just don't have a time frame there.
Okay, you said it would take a couple of days to weeks?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, if approved.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But we don't have formula or anything like that.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. That's all we have right now.
I hasn't ate all day, and I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure because we don't have cash here, and I'm not in control of finances.
Okay, well, unfortunately, that's our on our list. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Not even other churches.
Yeah. I wish I had something for you, ma'am. I'm very sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
God bless.
Okay. Well, and we don't have anything either. So I'm sorry. I wish I had something to offer you. Is there any
Out since last night, so I don't know what else to do.
I am so sorry. We don't have any here.
And y'all could get, and I could just pick it up.
No.
I don't. Not that I know of. No, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Well, they just sent me to back and forth to people, and then sent me to a voicemail. And get just a can of formula for her, because I mean she's been going without all night and all day, and I don't know what else to do or who to go to.
I understand, but the only food items that we have in the food pantry are non-perishables, but I don't believe they have anything there for infants.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Can I?
What you mean a baby formula?
Yeah, I have a.
You want somebody to give you some money or something?
No, I just need the formula. I have a 2-month-old, and she ran out last night, so she's went all night and all day without formula.
Yeah, we don't have any formula here for now, baby. No, we have a kitchen, but we don't have milk.
Okay. Is there any way y'all could just get a can and I could pick it up?
No, I don't know that we don't have time to do that because we don't have.
They might be able to assist. They have more resources than we do.
Okay.
Let me let me get in touch with the ladies at the weigh station and see. They might.
Night and all day without anything to eat.
We don't have any formula around, darling. I'm sorry. None. No diapers, anything for babies. We don't have any.
Could that be something you all could get and I could just pick it up?
No, we can't right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. All right. To help with baby formula at all?
We unfortunately are not. We have a benevolent.
Yeah, we're included in that, not because we want to be, but we've been struggling with a whole bunch of things since the Obama-Biden regime took over. I'm trying to think, have you called the company a little deal called Catholic Charities?
Yeah.
They usually have that stuff. Did they have any?
Well, we have 4 here. So which one of our campuses do you go to? Do you attend one of our campuses?
I don't attend, no. I'm just local.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to. Did you try Mercy's Gate?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have any way to help you with that. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Do you have a moment? Sorry, just 1 second. Yeah, turn like somebody can answer. So I didn't know if you could just let me know if it's something that y'all could do.
I'm not aware of any programs that we have like that to help you.
Big of a church and they won't even help somebody with a camera phone. That's so sad.
So how much do you need? I need to know about that.
I'm not sure. I think I usually have, I think it's maybe $17 at Walmart. I mean, if y'all could just get the formula, I could pick it up or have somebody come get it.
Well, I'm in Overshire right now by myself, and I'll see if I can get somebody to do this.
Okay.
We can do this. I'll just see. Tell me what it is it's called in case I have to go get it, because I'm a great grandpa. I'm not used to picking up formula. Okay. What's it called?
Good Start.
Good Start. And
Sir. Sir.
It's for infants.
Yes, sir.
Infants formula. Is any flavor, anything to it, or just?
No, sir. Hey, can I?
Okay. How much does the formula usually cost?
Just like $20 is like the small one.
Okay. Do you know where we're located?
No, I don't. Okay, can I pause you really quick? They could help before I come out there.
Just come. If they don't have baby food, I'll give you $10 from my pocket, and you'll buy some can.
Okay, that's so sweet. Okay, actually, this is actually a social experiment to baby formula.
We can, ma'am. Where do you live? Do you live in Charlotte?
Yes, I'm like 10 minutes from you all.
Okay. And what kind of formula are you using?
It's the Good Start.
Good Start. Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. If you come over here, we'll help you.
Okay. Hold on, just.
You know, if I give you something, you could purchase it. You could go to a grocery store. Right?
Okay. Hold on, just 1 second. I gotta turn my baby off. Okay, so this is actually a social experiment that I'm doing to test. Okay, so I've been calling your churches to test to see if they would help feed a starving baby.
That woman is quite literally doing the Lord's work. If you're not familiar with her and she hasn't been showing up on your feed, that's Nikaylee. She's doing this whole social experiment, but the people on the other end of the line, they don't know it's not real. And she has been calling Christian churches and being like, I have a baby. She doesn't have a baby. And I ran out of formula last night, and she has a sound of a baby crying in the background. And she's like, I ran out of formula last night, and I really need some formula. Would you all be able to help? I think she's called like 26 Christian churches. And out of the 26 Christian churches, so-called Christian churches, that she's called, like 23 have said no, they can't help your starving baby. I have long said that if Christ were to return for the second coming, that these so-called Christians would crucify him immediately. Now, there was one call that she did that was not a Christian church. It was a mosque. And this is what happened.
This Islamic Center of Charlotte, how may I help you?
Hi, yes. I was trying to call. I have a 2-month-old baby, and I ran out of formula last night, and I was wanting to see if there's any way you all could help with a can of baby formula.
We can, ma'am. Where do you live? Do you live in Charlotte?
Yes, I'm like 10 minutes from you all.
Okay. And what kind of formula you need?
It's the Good Start.
Good Start. Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. If you come over here, we'll help you.
Interesting that the scary Muslim people immediately asked, "Where are you? What do you need?" Literally, Nikaylee is doing the Lord's work. Because at the very least, I'm hoping that these Christian churches that she's putting on blast, I hope that the people who go to these churches see her TikToks and are like, what the fuck? And then maybe they'll actually help the community. Yeah, great job, Nikaylee.
So why exactly did that lady feel the need to call all these different churches and ask for a can of formula for a baby that doesn't even exist? I'll tell you why. Because it was a social experiment to show that churches do not give as much as they are getting. Which is really sad because she's calling a lot of mega churches. And when you think of a mega church, like, it is so big. It costs millions to make a church like that. They get thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars just for one service. They're able to have things like bands and Christmas shows and all of these huge things. They're able to talk about how they spent millions and millions of dollars doing this for this place or this for this place. And a lot of people that go to these churches, not all, but a lot of people are really well off. And you mean to tell me that a lot of these churches couldn't scrape together some money for formulas? I'm sorry, but churches do not get taxed, and they get so much resources, especially these mega churches. You should be able to call your church and be like, hey, I don't have food, and then be able to go and pick up a bunch of food for you if they don't already have a pantry. Hey, I don't have baby formula. I need 1 can, but the church is giving you 4 or 5 cans. That's what churches are supposed to be about. How are these churches saying no when they well than more enough have those funds? So where exactly is this money that they're receiving going? This needs to be a wake-up call to churches to do better. And if churches can't do better, this needs to be a wake-up call to the government to go after the churches that aren't doing what churches are supposed to do. I am a Christian, and I really do love the church I go to. But it would really break my heart if she did a social experiment on my church and my church didn't have resources for her, because I also go to a mega church. So, I don't know, the whole thing is just really sad, but it's not unheard of, and I'm not shocked, to tell you the truth. But let that be an eye-opener that when you're giving, money every single week, maybe that money could just go somewhere else and you could individually help people out. I'm not trying to turn people away from God or from the church. Like I said, I am a Christian and I do love my church, but it's just ridiculous.
Call my church, please call my church, because I need to know. As someone who attends church regularly and we tithe, I need to see what their response is going to be. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a lady on TikTok. She's been calling churches all over and seeing if they will help her get baby formula. And most of them said no. Out of like 30 churches, 4 or 5 of them said yes. Churches have tax breaks. They have tax incentives. They get tithes and offerings. They're supposed to support the community, whether the people that need support attend their church and tithe or not. I tagged her below. Go scroll through her videos and see, and let me know what you think. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm really disturbed by this as someone who is Christian and who attends church and tithes.
That woman doing a social experiment, calling up churches to see if they would donate formula to a starving 2-month-old. Are you okay? Because I'm concerned about someone that makes up a fake scenario in their head that they have a starving 2-month-old and they do audio playback of starving children right before they call said church to make it seem like they have a real starving baby, so that hopefully that church will give you formula that you don't even need. Are you okay? And it's wild that you're doing this because you claim to care about women, children, and families. Girl, you're pro-choice. You're pro-choice, all right? If you want to make a real change in the world, go volunteer, donate, pick a profession that gives back, education, nursing, social work, something, okay? Because getting online and showing that you called churches that you're not even a member of and that they wouldn't give you baby formula is not doing what you think it's doing, okay? Honestly, be so for real.
So, the woman that was calling the churches, called 26 churches, 23 said no or things of that nature, and only the Islamic mosque helped her out. I think it was Nikali. I think that's what her name is. One of the calls that she made and one of the churches that she spoke to said, "We don't do that here." That shit stopped me in my tracks. That shit stopped me in my tracks. We don't do that here. So what's with the guy on the cross? What'd you put him up there? Like, I ain't got him in here. He ain't nowhere in here, but if you don't do that here, then what the fuck do you do? That is an interesting question to ask. If a church isn't there to help the poor, which is something the guy on the cross talked about doing and actually did, then what the fuck are you there for? What would be the purpose of having you if you ain't gonna do that guy, the shit that he did? Like, I really want y'all to think about that. What is a church that does not adhere and help the needs of the people in it? What the fuck would you call that? Like, think about that for a second. If a garage, like if a car repair garage didn't repair cars, then what the fuck would it be? What's a library with no books? What is a company in the army if it ain't got no soldiers? Like, does it even exist? Can you even call it that? This comes from the same religious belief system that had an evangelical Christian preacher preaching the Beatitudes from Jesus, only to get hemmed up by people in the fucking church saying, what's with all that woke ideology? What? If a church does not take care of the people in it or the community it's in, then what the fuck is it? Like this is bugging me. Like, I'm bugging over this, B. I am bugging over this. Can you really call yourself a Christian church if you don't do anything that Christ did? The fuck is it there for then? What the fuck is it there for then? Like, this is one of them things that's going to hit me all weekend. All weekend, I'm going to be thinking about this. A woman calls you. A woman in your community calls you. She has a starving child. She is hoping You have formula for babies. And you say, we don't do that here. But you got a dead guy on a goddamn cross in the front of the building. Crosses everywhere. Just crosses all over the place. Supposed to represent the crucifixion of the Jesus guy, who, when he was alive, did a whole bunch of shit to help the poor. It's in the book. That new part. There was the old and the new. And in the new part, that's what he did. I'm going to be pondering this for a hot minute. I'm going to be pondering this for a hot minute. If you have a bank that has absolutely no money, no way to get money, and no customers bringing their money in or getting it out, is it a bank? Or is it just a building with a safe in it that's empty? If you have 4 wheels and an engine, none of this shit's put together. You just got 4 wheels and an engine. Can you call that a car? This is going to bug the fuck out of me. Like, this is really going to bug the fuck out of me. How you have a church and call yourself Christians, but when asked for you to do something that Christ would do, you say we don't do that here. So what the fuck do you do? What is your purpose? Why are you there? Why do you have tax exempt? Why do you have tax exempt status? I can't be the only one. I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. I know y'all think the exact same fucking thing. Like, a church that doesn't take care of the needs of the people that use it in the community around it isn't a church. It's a Ponzi scheme, duh.
Listen, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's gotcha parade, but if you want to know why the woman calling the churches is not having more luck getting baby formula, it has to do with the church's charters. And there are people on here calling for the IRS to go down there and check out those churches, not realizing it's the IRS that is the problem here. Those churches will get in trouble if they work outside their charter. And if their charter does not specify food assistance, they cannot give food assistance, or the IRS will shut them down. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I'm working on opening a nonprofit myself, so I'm like all caught up in the legalese of this, but it's very strict. It's very strict. You have to specify exactly the kind of mission work you are going to do as an organization, and you have to get it approved by the IRS. It takes months. And if you change your mission, so if you adopt new bylaws that's going to add a food pantry to your church, for example, then you have to go through the process of resubmitting to the IRS and waiting for them to approve it before you can do anything at all. So, like, again, I understand it's a bad look for this girl to be calling all these churches and they say they can't give her formula. I understand that's a bad look. But it is probably not within their charter to give food assistance. Food pantries come with all kinds of other regulation that you have to abide by. You got to have it staffed. You got to have an inventory system. Because if not, and something gets expired and somebody gets sick, then you could get sued. So like this, I understand some people just want to be mad. But like, if you want to change a church's mission, the best way to do that is become a member of that church and propose a new bylaw at the business meeting of the church, which is public, but only members can put forth proposals and only members can vote. But there's a process to all this. It's not just like churches can do whatever they want whenever they want. That's not the case. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It just is what it is, y'all. So anyways, keep your head on a swivel. Love y'all.
Y'all, Nikaylee called Charlie Kirk's church. Charlie Kirk's church. And they failed. They forwarded her to a care pastor after saying, well, if it's not something we have in the office, I don't know what we can do. They forward her to a voicemail with a crying baby in the background, which she believed to be a starving crying baby. Charlie Kirk's church. Charlie Kirk's church. Are you getting it now? Holy shit. I don't care how much good you think a massive mega church like that is doing. There are clear blind spots. If a woman is calling you with a crying baby asking for formula, and you're like, well, I don't know what we can, let me forward you to voicemail. Charlie Kirk's church. Not surprised. Not surprised.
Mom who called her local churches asking for baby formula because she didn't have enough for the week. It's both shocking people and not shocking anyone, because she found out that you can look at a church and tell who would be willing to give her free, just a small thing of baby formula is all she asked for. She's not asking for money. She's not asking for anything else, just baby formula. She has a baby crying in the background. It's basically a social experiment. We have seen mega churches hanging up on her. They basically can't get her off the phone fast enough. And some of them will send her to a voicemail and then never call her back. So mega churches absolutely will not help you. As soon as they figure out you're a person in need, they have nothing to do with you. Every other Christian church, I think except for a Linden, Kentucky or Tennessee, I can't remember. The person who answered that phone, it was a man. And he was like, I'm going to go get you formula right now. All the other ones. Oh, a Buddhist temple. One of the churches she called who was willing to help was a Buddhist temple. All of these other churches, God is not in those facilities. Kind of like white Christian. Did I not say that part? Yeah, the churches that she called that were willing to give, that were Christian faith-based churches, those were all African American churches willing to help her. I don't know if the one in Linden, I'm not sure about that one. And especially a bigger, like prosperous church, they absolutely will not help you the second that they find out that you are not an active member of their church. What is an active member? A member who has given money to that church. And you can literally listen to some of these churches telling her no, and they are saying, I'm sorry, we do actually have a program, so they have like the funds and the means. They're not saying that they don't, but we just can't give to you because you're not an active member of our church. Not because you're not a member of our church, an active member. So just keep that in mind. Unless you're giving money to these churches, they don't want to have anything to do with you. Even a mother with baby crying who hasn't been fed, because that's what she's like, my baby has misfeedings. I am in panic mode. I've called everybody. They don't even offer her other resources to call. The churches, the Buddhist temple was literally, this one was like, hey, I'm going to go get your baby formula, but here's a list of other resources to call as well if it happens again. The churches who were willing to help get her formula were not only willing to help, but they were also helping her find other people willing to help her too. So it's just crazy that there's people who not only aren't willing to help, they just don't care to even like get them to other resources, but the people who are willing to help are even going above and beyond. That is God.
So I wanted to speak on the girl who's calling churches to get formula for a baby who hasn't eaten like 18 hours. So I've actually been kicked out of a food bank for giving what I wasn't supposed to give. So I have volunteered at many food banks that are owned by churches. So let me just preface that. And they will only let you do what you're allowed to do. I was there and there was a sign that said give 1 can of fruit per family. And so the lady asked me, she said, can I please have 2 cans of peaches because of my kids will barely eat anything and peaches is one of them. And I said, sure, why not? And the lady came over and said, read the sign, volunteer, 1 can of fruit per family. And then later on, after I had finished my shift, I got a call saying that I could not return there. So yes, they will only give you what the rules say. Common sense doesn't apply to those kind of situations sometimes, but that's not every church. But yeah, common sense should come before rules.
Anyone else stumble upon those videos where the lady is calling the churches and asking if they'll help her 2-month-old baby that hasn't had formula in a day? If you haven't, look it up. But most churches say no. The ones I've noticed that say yes are the Islamic Center and people with minority-based populations. It seemed like there was a mostly black church. They said yes. One lady was Hispanic, you could tell. She said yes. She was going to pay for it herself. But the rest of them, mostly white Christians, told her to check food banks or call other churches. Isn't this what churches are for? I was raised religious. This is what they're for. But think about it. The minority populations and the Islamic Center, they said yes.
2 predominantly black or African American Baptist church and 1 mosque. Out of 25 to 30 churches in Kentucky. One creator on this app, I'm going to tag her below. 2 Baptist churches, predominantly African American or black, and 1 mosque are the only churches who, when she called and said, I have a starving newborn baby, can you help me with formula? Those are the only 3 out of about 30 churches that helped. This creator is literally playing in the background of her phone calls, screaming baby sounds. It sounds like a newborn is crying because it's very, very hungry. And these people from the church, tax-free, mind you, commanded by their religion to help, mind you, the whole reason they're there, mind you, have pretty much all said no. Except for 2 Baptist church and 1 mosque. So if you look like me, and every week you are giving your money to a church, they need to be audited by their congregation immediately. Ask them where the money is going, or stop giving it to them. Immediately we will be donating to the mosque.
Everybody's talking about that lady that's calling churches, asking them for a can of formula for a 2-month-old, right? 2-week-old, 2-month-old, whatever. Baby's crying in the background. All these mega churches say no. A couple of Muslim religious centers say yes. Black churches say yes. But do you all not remember that the church writ large would lobby to be exempt from the Americans with Disabilities Act? Like at the federal level, they're completely exempt from adhering to or even providing accessibility to disabled people in churches. But not just churches, religious organizations, religious schools. And I feel like every so often people find like 1 or 2 people that are really calling religious organizations to the carpet on what they're actually going to provide their parishioners or their congregation or their members, and then forget that like things like lobbying to be exempt from the ADA happen at all. Not to mention that like with disabled people, the church is not really bothered by the fact that like people are calling them to the carpet or things like that. Because even with churches lobbying to be exempt from the ADA, they utilize their proximity to disabled people to then lobby for other things. Like disabled people were used heavily in the pro-life movement because of the way that like the left was talking about disability and abortion. In fact, a majority of parents, caregivers,
special education teachers, all those entities still heavily associated with the church and the alt-right, regardless of what they do and do not provide to people with disabilities in the church.
So instead of calling the churches, where out of like over 20 churches, maybe a small handful too said they'd help buy formula, talking about the lady who's calling churches asking for formula for her baby who has an 8 in 2 days. You know who she should call? The biker bar. Call your local biker club, biker bar, tell them your baby has an 8 in 2 days. Watch how fast the formula shows up at your house. That's the same group of men that people think are sinners, that go by their appearance. That's some of the best. There's some great bikers. They do the Bikers Against Child Abuse. They'll show up at court dates for children. They do the toy runs for kids. A lot of them will feed people on Christmas in their town. Great group of people. It just goes to show that the people, sometimes the people you think should help, don't. And it's the people you least likely think would help are the ones that do. Just because they wear leather patches instead of halos, like great group of people. It'd be interesting if she called
28 no's, 9 yeses. 28 no's, 9 yeses. Ladies calling around churches saying that she has a 2-month-old baby that hasn't eaten because they ran out of formula, and she got a little baby crying in the background. This is not, she's not real, but she's testing the churches out to see who would say yes and no to a starving baby. 28 of them would say no. 28. 9 said yes. There was this old guy. He was like, I'm a great granddaddy, but he took the number and the name down, and he was ready to go himself. And I thought that was the blueprint. But apparently, those 20 other churches forgot the blueprint somewhere. I don't know. They're asking her questions like, did you call here? How about here? The Salvation Army, this, that, and the third? No, she called you, and you're not helping. You're failing. You're failing the test right now. One of them said that she needed to be a member in order to receive like assistance like that. Another one said she could be put on a wait list that'll take a few days up to a week. That's crazy. The child is hungry now just for me. $51.99, $48.99, $187 for a 6-pack, $75.99, $39.99. You telling me the church don't got $100 to give this lady one little formula? You don't got $100 to give this lady. She got to go through all these hoops and happy holidays, I guess. I would have never thought to test a church like this, because they're the church. Like, they supposed to help. Damn.
When I say to you that I believe that Christians are not inherently good people, I say that with my whole chest. You have to tune into this creator's social experiment. She is calling around all of these super Christian Southern megachurches and seeing if they will help her. She's doing a social experiment. So she calls and says, hey, I have a 2-month-old baby. I ran out of baby formula last night. She's playing a recording of a baby crying in the background and says, I need help. Doesn't ask for money, mind you. She asks for a can of baby formula to get her through the next day or two. And guess what? Most of these mega churches said no. They said no. The pro-life crowd would not help a mother in need with a can of baby formula. You know who did help? An Islamic mosque, a Buddhist temple, some black churches in the South. This is why people don't want religion involved in their governance or politics, because they're hypocrites and liars. The people who want to tell you how to live, how to run your life, force you to have a child, whether you want it or not, then put you in a position where you cannot support that child, refuse to help you. But the people that you talk down about, that guy was ready to jump in the car and bring it over to her. He asked her what brand of formula she needed. He was going to go out and buy it and have it waiting and ready for her from the mosque. This is one of the most telling social experiments that's been conducted in recent memory. I'm not surprised by the findings. But to everybody who runs their mouth talking about bless your heart and stay blessed and quoting Bible scriptures, but is not getting in the car to help their neighbor out with a can of baby formula, and they're not paying taxes. Don't forget that little detail. These huge mega churches, the Joel Osteens of the world, will not help you. And it's on display for everyone to see. Creators tag below. Check it out. Watch the whole thing. Go through it. She calls over 30 churches at this point. It's eye-opening.
Y'all, whatever you do, don't watch those videos of that woman calling around churches, being told no when she's needing help, because you're gonna find that she calls a mosque and they say yes right away, and they're so nice. And I think I'm getting my period. Oh, but the kindness. Oh, and then they had like a 1-star review when she called, and then a bunch of there's like 1,000 5-star reviews after that. They had no idea it was like a social experiment. Oh, but they're so nice. And that was really nice.
So I'm calling your church to test to see if they are willing to help feed a starving baby. So right now I'm about to call First Baptist Church in Corbin, Kentucky. And it says, we are a Christ-centered, service-oriented family of faith who remains linked to Baptist roots while learning to live graciously in an ever-changing world.
By now, I'm sure you've seen this content creator, or at least heard of her work. Her name is Nikali, and she is calling on religious institutions, asking them if they will provide formula for her baby who hasn't eaten in 2 days. She is shining a spotlight on the dark underbelly that is religious institutions, the people that are supposed to be the most giving, the most loving. And so far, it's about a 10% success rate on those who will provide formula for her baby. And even the ones who will, it's usually out of that own person's pocket because the program doesn't exist at a church. There is no way for a church who takes in money to give things back out to the community. It simply doesn't exist. And my question is, are we surprised? Now, I love this experiment, don't get me wrong, but are we surprised? Because I've seen pastors and preachers talk about their Bentley. I've seen people being shamed for giving $1,200 and not giving $2,000. I've seen Joel Osteen not open his church when hurricanes swept through Texas. I see this day in and day out where it's a message of love and patience and kindness and treat your neighbors well and take care of each other. But when push comes to shove and the rubber meets the road, there is no action from the churches. In a time where food stamps are being cut off, benefits are being suspended, our churches are the ones that should be stepping up full force, not looking to the government because they're not willing to help. Our churches should be there to fill in that void, and they are unwilling. People listening to the sounds of a baby cry and are unmoved to the point where they deny somebody a $10, $20 can of formula. So I love the experiment, but are you surprised at the outcome?
That lady called all those Christian churches with her screaming, crying, hollering ass baby. It's a recording, but it's a screaming, hollering ass, crying ass baby in the background. And them people said, fuck you and that baby. We ain't got shit for you. Oh, and then one of those churches said, yeah, we can only do shit for our members. Did you call around? Did you use all of your resources? But she called the mosque with no hesitation. Like, the call that she had with the mosque was probably 5 fucking seconds before they was like, where are you? What kind of formula is it? Get your ass over here. We got you. Quick. Like, what do you mean? Oh, and then the two black churches. Same thing. The black people said, get your ass over here. We're going to help you and that fucking baby. Baby need milk? What kind of milk? We're going to get the fucking milk for the fucking baby. And then I think what also irritates me about this is because when I found out the lady was even going to be doing this type of experiment, I knew she would be turned down. I knew that. But I feel like what also pisses me off is because this is not an automated call. There are real life human beings on the fucking other end of that phone. And for them to be like, mind you, a can of formula is, I would say, between like $15 and $20. not even the person on the phone, like, fuck what the church talking about. Fuck the church rules. Where you at? Like, I got $20. I can get you a can, and then I'm gonna call around and I'm gonna see if anybody can donate, and we gonna get you a couple of cans of milk.
Oh my God. It's sad. There's no one as sad as the particular church that said, we don't do that here. Meanwhile, the only church that helped, I think they say 2 black churches and then a mosque. Black people are still leading. Even Charlie Kirk's church failed her. Charlie Kirk's church failed her. Yes, the almighty people that are serving God more than us failed her. And it is 2 black churches and a mosque that is not even a Christian body at all, that actually responded. Why a lot of people were saying that this thing she actually did was not making sense, a lot were still saying that it is good for us to really know the churches that got our backs. One thing I have known in this life is black people are more sympathizing, more than any race. More than any race, black people are more sympathizing. Black people can feel your pains. Black people can go to any extent to make sure you are okay, you are comfortable, more than any single race. I'm not saying that the other churches that she called, that they are not black people there as well. They are, but it is still good to know that she is a white folk thinking that at least her fellow race will actually respond to her, but they never did. They never did. Like, it was never their business. In fact, a particular church went to the point of telling her that we don't do that here. Another one said, oh, before this thing will get approved, it will take months, years, days. And these are churches that your salaries will be going into, your tithings will be going into. In fact, these are churches that some people can literally empty their account. I'm saying it from my own mom's perspective. I have a particular church my mom is attending right now in Nigeria that she can empty her accounts to that church. In fact, she have this contribution they do, marking card inside the church of about 10,000 naira. Let me see. About $7 plus, I don't know, every single week or every single month that they do that. And I was asking her one day, I was like, you have a church that you're doing contribution for. Would they even come and contribute? In fact, the day of my wedding, I didn't even see them. The day of her daughter's wedding, I did not. I don't know. I'm not saying that people should not be doing things for churches. Please do not get me wrong. But I'm saying that too much is given, much is expected. Even if it's not for anything, but as a body of Christ, I expect that the first urgent answer should be, how do we feed that child? Even if it's $1, $2, $3 sent to them, for the fact that there is a cry of a baby in the background as well. The question is, how do we feed that baby first? Not saying one said we are small churches. Like your small church, it doesn't matter, sir. Your $1 can go a long way, your $2 can go a long way. At least show sympathy. Another one said we don't have enough funds yet. Okay, that simply means you have funds, right? But you don't have enough to give out. But you want the members to have every single thing to pour into and bring it into the house of the Lord as sacrifices and praise and thanksgiving. It's not fair. I just hope a lot of churches can actually see this and just learn, so that a lot of people will not just stop trusting God. I know what giving has really helped me, right? As a Christian, it has really gone a long way for me, helped me. It has really built in fact, the first pounds I have in my entire life, that time I was still working. The first pounds I have, I think it's about 20 pounds. Someone just gave me as tips. And I took that pounds and I deposited it in the house of the Lord without nobody asking me. Nobody asked me. I did that because that was what my spirit wanted to do. And I told God, do what no man can do. And I've been seeing his wondrous works. But some churches can go to the point of making sure that the members can bring their last drop of what they have. Let the members bring it into the storehouse of the Lord. And whenever those members are in trouble, whenever they have issues, they don't even care to check up on those members. And that is how bad it is for some. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share. And guys, with that being said, with no further ado, I do like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. And yeah, just let me know what you think about this video, okay? Bye. Mwah.